Namaskar and very good evening. Very good evening to all of you. So this is our 9th class on the Gita series. Today we will be covering on Bhakti Yoga. Okay, I begin the session by paying obeisance to my Gurudeva Sri Sri Ananda Murti, who is the inspiration behind this initiative. So this will be the outline of the presentation this week. So as I shared in the previous classes, okay, this Gita series is basically about exploring Sanathana Dharma, which is the path of the soul. We, being the soul, is in a journey in this universe, life after life, and the dharma of this soul is to return to its source, which is the Brahman. Okay, and this soul, when it comes in the form of human being, okay, it has a purpose to serve Purushartha. Okay, Purushartha is there are 4 Purushartha, which is Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Okay, Dharma stands for psycho-spiritual longing, Artha for psychic longing, Kama for physical longing, Moksha is for salvation or enlightenment. Okay, so in each time, in each incarnation, so we have a bundle of karma, karmic debt. Okay, it actually more accurately can be called samskara. Okay, samskara means reaction in potential, and in each incarnation, so the expression of your samskara or karmic debt is the form will be expressed in this 4 what you call longing. Okay, so to make you understand it better, karma means karma stands for your physical desires, artha stands for your desire to progress, and dharma is the desire to seek the truth. Okay, and dharma only happens when there's an awakening in a particular individual. Okay, and then all the questions about what happened before birth, what happened after death, and so on will be there. Okay, and dharma will lead you towards moksha. So in our path, okay, which is erroneously called as Hinduism. Hinduism is the name given by foreigners, basically. Okay, which is actually a geographical identity, nothing to do with the spiritual path. Okay, so the path which is followed by the people of Bharat, okay, since the past till now. Okay, now Bharat is limited to the modern India, but the path originated from India. So it is known as Sanathana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. Okay, so I will give some summary before going to Bhakti Yoga. I shall give some summary about what we discussed from the first class until the last class. So the Gita is basically a dialogue. Okay, you already know what this is. It's a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay, Arjuna being one of the prince, Pandava prince, okay, was in dilemma, and he was in a state of despondency. And Krishna, who was his friend, and also brother-in-law, and his guru, okay, so took up the role as the charioteer, okay, and guided him, okay, in the battle. And metaphorically, Kurukshetra represents the battle of life. Okay? Our battle, every living being, we are facing a battle. This is Kurukshetra, our Kurukshetra. And Arjuna represents us, Jivatma, every living being, Jivatma. And Lord Krishna represents Paramatma, or the universal soul. And we have seen this also earlier. This is a popular story from the Upanishad. It appeared in not less than 3 Upanishads. So this is a quote from Mundaka Upanishad. It also appeared in the Taittiriya and also Svetasvatara and Mandukya. So the story, according to this story, so there's a tree, which is a tree of life. So you have 2 birds in the tree. So one bird which is eating the fruit is actually represent Jivatma. Okay, it's the fruit represent, or various fruits represent our experience in life. Whereas the other bird is stand as a witness, which is Paramatma. Okay, so in our journey, so we always, all of us, we have Paramatma in us as the witnessing consciousness, and Jivatma is our unit consciousness which indulge in life, which indulge in all the ups and downs in life. Okay, and according to this particular story, the fruit-eating bird eventually realized that the other bird is always calm and content. So it went to approach the other bird and ask what is the secret of being so content. And when it reached the place, there is no other bird. So that explains that the witnessing bird, the bird which is not eating the fruit, is actually the original bird, so the original soul. Okay, metaphorically, it is the original soul. So it is the same case with us. So we are so engrossed with life because of samskara or karma, and we don't realize our real nature as the soul. Okay, so the same concept is depicted in the Bhagavad Gita itself, where in this chariot, Arjuna is the Jivatma, the fruit eating, right? And Krishna was the witnessing entity, okay? The guide to the Jivatma. So Jivatman is involved in the battle of life and face its duality, such as joy and sorrow. There's a typo there. Pain and pleasure, success and failure, and so on. And Paramatma is the witness of all. So in the Kurukshetra, Arjuna was afflicted with despondency and lost his courage to participate in the battle. Similarly, we all often lose our courage and become despondent in life when we face a lot of challenges. It could be a bereavement, it could be a failure, okay, it could be a relationship failure, it could be a failure in our career, okay, in many other. Okay, each time, whenever we face a grave challenge as such, okay, we will be despondent. Okay, we will lose courage when we may think that life itself is meaningless. And we know a lot of people attempt suicide or commit suicide. The reason is because they could not gather their courage to live their life. Okay? So the greatest lesson of Bhagavad Gita is to teach us to face our life courageously. Okay, and I think in second chapter, so there was one word which is used, agama payunam. The word, it means that every experience that we face, everything that happens, every event in life, it has a beginning and end. So we have to endure that calmly, and it will go off. So because we don't have the capacity to see it as such, each time when we face a challenge, a problem, we took that problem to be like, how to say, as though it is an end of the world. While actually, you can actually overcome that. Okay, everyone has a capacity. So those who are attuned with their Atman, okay, so when you are attuned with your own soul, so you'll have more courage, more Shakti to face the challenge. So in reality, so just now I mentioned about being getting attuned with the Atman. Actually, to face or to deal with your day-to-day problem, you can just do it by managing your subconscious mind. And in reality, most people can't even manage their mind, the subconscious. I mean, in this context. Hence, the battle of life is always a real challenge. The formula of success is to be disciplined. So you have to be disciplined and manage the mind. Manage both your conscious and subconscious, because this two layers of mind is from where you operate. Most normal people, they operate from these two. Conscious mind is motivated by instinct, and subconscious mind is motivated by thought. And this thought depends on you. What kind of thought you plant in your subconscious, that will create a pattern in your mind. That pattern will somehow influence your mind. Okay? So the other thing is that you have to understand yourself as the individual consciousness. So that is one of the purpose of the Gita. Understand first, accept and understand that you are an individual consciousness. And perform your action, perform your duty with a dedicated spirit. Okay? This we covered in the chapter on Karma Yoga, okay, about action with the spirit of dedication. So in each life or the Kurukshetra, Jivatman performs Karma Yoga and evolves. And in the course of evolution, the self-awareness of the individual expands. And this process is known as Jnana Yoga. Okay? Okay? So Jnana Yoga is a process of studying oneself and a part of sadhana, or spiritual practice. Okay? If you take up a spiritual practice, Kriya Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, whatever yoga, Raja Yoga, you pick up any scientific meditation, this process is part of Jnana Yoga because it expands. When you get yourself involved in a particular type of spiritual practice or yoga practice, okay, by regular practice, it tunes and expand your consciousness. And through Jnana Yoga, the individual become conscious of the distinction between Jivatma and Paramatma. You begin to understand. Okay, in the beginning, would be just a mere intellectual understanding, but slowly it will become your own understanding. Your understanding will become deeper as a result of expansion of awareness. As I mentioned earlier, most people operate at conscious and subconscious. Okay, so those two layers of mind are not stable. Okay, so you're constantly restless, constantly affected by the experience of life. Okay, but when you get yourself involved in a proper path of sadhana, so you begin to unfold your unconscious mind. Okay, so the unconscious mind actually is more stable, and you will have this ability to actually to see your problem from a different perspective. Okay, so the more an unconscious mind itself, it has 3 more layers. So the more you expand yourself, the more you unfold the higher layers, you become anchored, in the higher awareness. And because of this expansion of awareness, you begin to develop this attraction for the universal soul or Paramatma. And this is called Bhakti. Okay, that is today's topic. So what is Bhakti? So when a person looks upon the awesome greatness of a great entity, his or her own qualities become suspended. He or she develops a special attitude towards that great entity, and that attitude towards that entity is called, or is known as devotion. Okay, this is a definition given by my Gurudeva. Okay, and basically, what is Bhakti? Bhakti means an attraction. Okay, in a simple understanding, in a very simple definition, is an attraction. Okay, so it's like we are quite familiar with that. Okay, males get attracted to female and vice versa. Okay, so you get attracted to something pleasant. Okay, so here, so we develop attraction for someone. Okay, someone who's greater than us. Okay, you develop reverence towards them. Okay, so you can have devotion for a leader, okay, to a spiritual guru, to a deity, or the supreme being. Okay, but here again, you see the concept of Parama Purusha and Vivek. We have explained earlier. Okay, we have discussed that Parama Purusha, or the supreme being, is the nucleus of this universe. You may not understand this concept of universe. I mean this nucleus. Okay, but you can understand someone who known to you, like a spiritual guru who has a higher awareness. Okay, like in the class where we discuss about the koshas, when someone has a higher koshas, higher layers of mind, more developed than yours, their mind will pull your mind. Okay? So someone who's more spiritually elevated than you naturally will attract you. So in Sanskrit, in one of the sutra, um, Bhakti is defined as Bhaktir Bhagavad Bhavana, na Stutir Narchana. Means Bhakti is ideation on God, on the Supreme Being. It's not flattery of God or ritualistic worship. Okay, Stuti means it's like Stuti is a form of like like you read some mantras and all that in the form of song. So that we call flattery. Okay, or even reciting mantra without proper ideation, or any form of ritualistic worship. Okay, so while a devotee, someone who's a spiritual aspirant, can participate in ritualistic worship, but according to my guru, this is not really necessary to develop real devotion. So real devotion is how you ideate. So that the key word here is bhavana. That means you develop some kind of relationship with the Supreme. You will come to that later. So here, so this is an illustration. It depicts this medieval saint from the medieval period, Mirabai. So Mirabai was a princess, but later she became the queen, okay, a Rajasthani princess. And she was a great devotee of Krishna. Okay, how she expressed her devotion. Okay, um, in bhakti or devotion, you develop relationship. There are known relationship. For example, um, in Ramayana, so for those who are familiar with Ramayana, this character called Hanuman. This Hanuman has this attitude towards of he has the attitude of Dashya Baba. Dashya Baba means relating to his Lord as a servant. He relate to Lord Rama as a servant. So that is one Baba. That is one way to relate to Supreme Being. So the other one is like Arjuna and Krishna. That is called Sakya Baba, friendship. And the mother of Krishna, the adopted mother, foster mother of Krishna, Yashoda. So she relates to Krishna as a parent. That is Vatsalya Bhava. So here, Meera, she relates to Krishna in Madhura Bhava. Okay, Madhura Bhava, Radha Bhava, all is the same, as a lover. Okay, so everyone, according to their temperament, they will relate to the Supreme Being with a certain temperament, or certain Bhava. So here, Lord Krishna lived, okay, for those who believe that he lived historically, he lived about a few thousand years earlier. And 500 years ago, nobody saw Krishna, nobody saw the real Krishna. So in the post-Mahabharata period, so Krishna became a deity. Okay. In our tradition, there are deities who originated from some, who used to be a historical figure. And also there are deities from the Purana, from the myth. Okay, so this this is the medium, okay, through which a devotee relates to the Supreme. Okay. To give a better understanding regarding devotion. Okay. So this is my guru said this in one of his discourses. Okay, this is the exact sentence from the discourse. He said, if you throw a stone in the pond, the ripples that it causes vibrate other objects in the pond. Similarly, when the cosmic flow is inspired by Purushottama, Purushottama stands for one of the attributes of the Supreme Being of God. Okay. Purushottama, it vibrates in its entirety, thereby vibrating all the what I call objects in the pond. This emanated vibration take different forms to provide momentum to human beings in different ways. Okay, so there's a typo here. So So you can see as depicted in this illustration. Okay, so this is a closer look. So suppose you throw a stone, so it creates this ripple. Okay? It is much clearer in this picture. So according to Guru, the supreme being from the nucleus, from the nave of the universe, release a vibration. This vibration is called rasa. This is like calling back everyone back to his soul, his soul. Okay, so this ripple will reach certain minds, certain individuals who are receptive. Okay, so here receptive mind refers to awakened jivas, awakened living being. Here in this context, human being. Some human beings, after in the journey of evolution, they've reached a certain point, and that ripple, which is the flow, which is known as Brahma Swarasa, okay, in this context, will reach them, will touch them, and they will begin to respond. Okay, they will feel somebody is calling them. Okay? So this force of inspiration keeps all the receptive minds connected to Purushottama. So that means somehow, even though when we become busy with material desire, become very engrossed with material desire, fulfilling that material desire, somehow Purushottama continuously send the wave to call back all the living beings. Okay, so this wave will motivate them to rush towards him. So when the macrocosmic dances in its individual macrocosmic flow, the microcosm dances in parallel. So we, the living being, also will get in tune with that. Okay. So according to my guru, he said in the past, about 500 years ago, there was another great saint. He said in the past, this Swarasa, the Brahma Swarasa, or divine flow of Brahma, was expressed through Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. How he expressed it, so he started a kirtan movement. Kirtan means is some kind of devotional singing. Okay, there's a difference between bhajan and kirtan. In bhajan, you will have a few ideas of glorifying God. In kirtan, you will have a single idea. Okay, just for example, like in the case of Mahaprabhu Chaitanya, he popularized this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So this is a form of kirtan. So even some people can sing kirtan, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namaha, like that. So all these are form of kirtan. They have a singular idea. Okay, so Mahaprabhu, in the context of Mahaprabhu, he started this kirtan movement, and there was some real, some kind of spiritual madness was created. So people start to dance, cry, goes into bhava. Bhava means spiritual ecstasy. Okay, so this happened about 500 years ago. And Lord Krishna himself, during his presence on this earth, he expressed this Brahma Swarasa by playing flute. It's not the flute sound, but it's a vibration. Okay, so how this vibration is created? See, I've mentioned about this in a few classes before, that living beings, so whenever you see living beings, you can see living beings in various level of evolution. So the ordinary living being, we call them Jivakoti. This includes plants, animals, and humans. But there are some humans who evolve further and they become Ishwarakoti. So Ishwara means the attribute of the Supreme Being. Okay, there are 16 kala. Okay, 16 kala or 16 kind of powers, and when somebody possesses even a single kala, so he is out of the 16 is known as Jivakoti. And if you possess 5 or 6, will become Amsavatar. And suppose that person has minimum 8, okay, almost 50%, so he will be known as Kandavatar. And when a person possesses all 16, that person will be known as Brahmakoti. So, according to Shastra, Krishna has reached the state of Brahmakoti. So, Brahmakoti is like getting attuned with the Purushottama, the nucleus of universe itself. So, Krishna performs some sort of a mini demonstration from Gokula by releasing this Brahmaswarasa. And the gopis of Vrindavan, okay, gopis here also refers to the male devotees of him. Okay? Because some people depict this story in a different manner, but actually it's a devotional call, okay, which Krishna demonstrated, Lord Krishna demonstrated during his stay, I mean, when he used to live in the Gokula. So Vrindavan is in a part of Gokula. Okay, but he stopped doing this when he took up the role as the king. Okay, so this is the first part. Okay, so this is the depiction where all his devotee will feel that Krishna is with them. Okay, this is the concept of Jivatma and Paramatma. Okay, so when a supreme being reaches the state of Brahmakoti, so he will play the role of the Guru, he will play the role of the Lord. Okay, he will also play the role of Paramatma as a personal guide of Jiva. Okay, so now we will go into some slokas in the Gita. So in the 10th chapter, so Krishna declared, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartati iti matva bhajante mam abhaddhavava samanvita. So he says, I am the origin of all creation, everything proceeds from me. The wise who know this perfectly worship me with great faith and devotion. See, this is the dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. So Arjuna was asking many questions and Krishna was answering all this. And in the beginning, so Arjuna will surrender to Krishna and like a disciple. And later you will begin to ask him more questions. Say, actually, tell me who are you? So Krishna will begin to reveal all this, I mean, the various role that he plays. Okay? So in this particular chapter, so this is one of his, it's declaration that he said that he is actually a Brahmakoti. Okay? And then he also said that Aham Atma Bodhakesha Sarva Bodhashya Sthita Aham Adischa Matyacha Buddhanam Ante Evacha. Means, O Bodhakesha or Arjuna, I am the Atma or the self seated in the heart of all living entities. I am the beginning, middle, and the end of all beings. So he said, okay, even if you don't understand me as the Lord of the universe, okay, it's easier to understand me as the Atman who seated in the heart. You see, here is not doesn't refer to the physical heart. Okay, this heart refers to a particular center. Okay, in your structure. Okay, so in a particular chakra. So that is the location where yogis, those who are receive initiation in the higher yogic practice, they concentrate to get tuned with the Atma. Next. So this is the 9th chapter. So he said, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Pachupasate Tesham Nityabhiktanam Yoga Kshemam Bahamiham. The keyword here, Yoga Kshemam. Said those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me, to them whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve what they already possess. Here, Yoga Kshema means to preserve what you have already and bring what you don't have. Okay, so human being, so we are always concerned about our material welfare. Okay, when you talk about the concept of Purushartha, so we always run after Kama and Artha because we think only this world is real, and what we lack is always the divine blessing, okay, or spiritual wealth. So Krishna said, I will give you both material and spiritual wealth, but provided you have to be attuned with me. Okay, and human being, we always fail in this one thing, is to be attuned to the Supreme Being. And if you look at the earlier sloka, so it is very easy to get attuned. So actually we have discussed that thoroughly, that by transcending your mind, you can actually come closer to the soul. And this is another sloka in the 9th chapter itself. So this is the last sloka in the 9th chapter. So man mana bhava, mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru, Mam evashyasya yuktaivam atmanam atparayana. So he says, always think of me, be devoted to me, worship me and offer obeisance to me. Having dedicated your mind and body to me, you will certainly come to me. So here, so all this karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga, all three you can find in this particular sloka. So bhakti yoga basically, they said, it's a culmination of your spiritual journey. So bhakti is the part, it's a higher part. So contrary to the popular belief, who says bhakti is a kindergarten path, because they often mistook ritualistic practices to be bhakti. That is archana, that kind of thing. Okay? So real bhakti is when you develop uh, this attraction towards Supreme Being. Okay? You may do rituals, you may spend thousands on temples, you may go on pilgrimage, but that doesn't mean you're a devotee. Okay? So to be a devotee, first you need to be aware of yourself. Okay? You must get into some kind of higher awareness. For the Brahma Swarasa to touch you, okay, to attract you. Okay, so either you already evolved in the previous life, okay, if you already evolved to that point, so it will be so natural, even without getting involved in any sadhana, from at a very young age, you'll get attracted. Just like in the case of Meera, as a child, she's already attracted to Krishna, to Lord Krishna. Okay, she may use a very simple medium. She received an idol from one of the guru who visited her grandfather. Okay, but that idol is not the main thing that what they call how to say. I mean, some people may say, "Oh, she just used an idol, so how she could become so great?" The idol just is required to trigger something in her. Okay, I mean, the concept of Krishna, Lord Krishna was introduced, and from that very moment, she began to become mad after Krishna. Okay. Um, but in the ordinary case, in most people, so you have to take up some form of sadhana. And as you evolve, you'll come to a point when this devotion will dawn in you. Okay? So, and we have to do karma yoga and jnana yoga to reach that point. So, according to my guru, he said in the life of Krishna during Mahabharata, so he in the early days, before he became the king, before he left Vrindavan, he used to distribute the gift of devotion to everyone, indiscriminately, without any discrimination. So that's why he decides to call everyone by playing flute. Okay? But when he took up the role of king, okay, the king, my guru used to call this role as Parthasarathi Krishna. Okay? So this Krishna, in the second role, is more stern. Okay, not everybody will get access to him. Okay, so even among the Pandavas, only Arjuna will get easy access, and he will encourage people to get involved in karma yoga. Okay, he will also encourage people to get involved in the process of jnana yoga, and he will say that by these two you will eventually develop the devotion. So he did. This was his campaign until his last breath. Okay? And what you see in Bhagavad Gita is just an expansion of this. Okay, somebody said if Krishna and Arjuna is really had that conversation, if they had really had such a lengthy conversation, which actually comprised of 18 chapter and 700 slokas, it would take 3 hours. Just imagine in a battlefield, if these two persons was involved in this conversation, active conversation, what would have been the reaction of the other parties? Okay, so Krishna did not take that long to convince Arjuna to receive the battle or to get involved in the battle. He just needed a very short time. But what we found in the Gita was written later by Vyasa, and that reflects Krishna's teaching throughout his life. Okay, it's an elaboration to make us to understand. Okay, in fact, my guru said in the chapter 13th chapter, uh, 12th chapter, in the 13th chapter, so Krishna was shown to what you call will show his what you call he will show the universal form. This universal form is actually a yogic experience, and after that, the Gita, there is no more dialogue according to my guru. The dialogue was over. Okay, so I'm just sharing this to tell you that so the Gita that we have is actually an elaboration of Krishna's teaching throughout his lifetime. Okay, now we shall see. So we already discussed it, that Krishna is a Brahmapoti, is a personification of Ishvara. Okay, and I also discussed this and explained about this, that Supreme Being is one of the term coined by the rishis is Brahma. So Brahma means Brahma means an infinite entity. So Brahatvat Brahma. And by meditating on Brahma, you also will become as great as Brahma. So Brahanatvat Brahma. So Brahma has many attributions. So one of the attributions is Ishvara, or the controller of the universe. So even though the historical Krishna is no longer there, so Krishna still continues to attract all jivas towards him through Brahmasvarasa. We already saw this, the concept of rebirth. Okay, and when a jiva is awakened through this Svarasa or the cosmic flow, it will try to move towards God or Ishvara in an accelerated speed. It means when you receive the calling, okay, and the fastest process to do this, okay, is Ishvara Pranidhana. Okay, so what is Ishvara Pranidhana? Okay, to understand what is Ishvara Pranidhana, you need to understand what is Ishvara. So in Yoga Sutra, so there are many what do you call interpretations. So I think this gives quite a clear interpretation. So which appear in the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. Klesha karma vipakshaya. Okay, vipakshaya asamprastha. Purusha vishesha ishvara means the Purusha or the cognitive faculty who remain unassailed by waves of action and reaction, physical and mental, and who does never require any physical or mental or spiritual problem for his maintenance is Ishvara. Okay? So that means Klesha means affliction. Okay? So that means he is free from affliction, free from karma, free from effect of karma. Okay? So and we are affected by all this. Okay, so he is the Purusha Vishesha, special Purusha. So a devotee will reach this Ishvara through Bhavana. So that process is Ishvara Pranidhana. So the second word here is Pranidhana. Pranidhana means to understand clearly or to adopt something as a shelter. Okay? So Ishvara Pranidhana means to establish oneself in the cosmic idea, to accept Ishvara as the only ideal of life. So Ishvara Pranidhana means to move with accelerated speed towards that supreme center of God. Okay, so there are many forms of spiritual practice that we do. Okay, if somebody is doing spiritual practice, so there are many forms. Okay, so Ishvara Pranidhana is a one form of spiritual practice which is very, I mean, this is quite handy and easily. It's quite easy to practice to most people. Okay, the simplest way is Ishvara Pranidhana can be practiced through japa. Suppose you have a mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. So this mantra has a bhava or an idea. So, Om Namah Shivaya means Nama means to surrender. Means I surrender to Shiva or the consciousness. Shiva means consciousness. So each time someone recite Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, that person has to bring this idea that I am surrendering to Shiva. So this, by repeated, what do you call, repeated chanting of this, the mental chanting, so you will bring this bhavana to your mind. So although there are three ways of japa, vocal, whispering, and mental, but for Ishvara Pranidhana, the best process of japa is mental. Okay, I give another example, like another mantra, like Shivoham. There is a mantra called Shivoham. Shivo, in this mantra, the bhava is I am Shiva. I am Shiva. So means I am the Atman. So again, so the idea is implanted in your subconscious and slowly it goes to your unconscious. So this, through this mental japa, you can perform Ishvara Pranidhan. So in many schools, they teach this Ishvara Pranidhan, okay, and they'll teach a specific technique, they'll give a specific mantra for you to connect to the Purushottama. Okay, although all of us are already connected to Purushottama, just that we have a different program. So we already program our mind to be attuned to, or means we have tuned ourselves to the material world. Okay, that is our samskara. So now through sadhana, you're actually transforming your samskara so that it get more attuned to Purushottama or Ishvara. So when a jiva was awakened after getting in touch with Brahma, or Brahmaswarasa, it will strive to accelerate speed towards Ishvara. This movement is bhakti. And bhakti is expressed through various bhava towards Bhagavan. Okay, I already explained about the various bhava. Sakya, Vatsalya, Dashya, and Madhura bhava. Okay. In conclusion, so there are 6 stages. Okay. In the journey, in the spiritual journey, there are 6 stages. A devotee will go through this stage. The first one is Salokya, when you feel that you are in the same world with the Lord. And Samipya is the stage when you begin to feel that you have more proximity. And Sayujya, you are in close contact. And in Sarupya, you begin to adopt the form of the Lord. And Charasti is merging. And Kaivalya is this state of Advaita Bhava. In yoga, it is known as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So we will discuss this, we will elaborate this in the future class. So with that, I conclude the class today. Thank you for listening. Actually, this my purpose today is to basically to explore the concept of devotion. Okay, so we have some basic understanding about what is Karma Yoga, what is Jnana Yoga, and this Bhakti Yoga. So now I would like to open for discussion when you have any question. Okay, we have time for in another 10 minutes. So please voice out any questions you have.
Can I pose a question here? Just now you mentioned that lake and the ripple, wave, and then to my understanding is just a being, highly elevated being, affects surroundings. Okay.
Brother, can you, I think it's...
sorry, I'm not feeling...
yeah, voice can...
I was wondering, when Krishna is in the Kurukshetra battle,
okay,
when he is there, he's a supreme being, because he emanates such a tremendous compassion. to my understanding, the whole battle of Kurukshetra shouldn't have taken place.
Okay.
And yet it took place. May I know why? What is the reason behind this?
So is your question is why battle of Kurukshetra took place? Is that your question? Despite Krishna is able to, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, see, good question. See, in Mahabharata, so I already mentioned in the very beginning, Mahabharata does not refer to this last battle. Okay, Mahabharata is a campaign of Lord Krishna, and in this campaign, he tried to re-establish Dharma. So at that point of time, so the ancient name of India is known as Bharat, and Bharat was scattered. So there were few smaller kingdoms, such as the Panchala days. Okay, so that is from where Draupadi came, Panchala days, the Kashi, this Hastinapur. Okay, so there are few what do you call even Bangladesh, the present Bengal is Bangladesh. So there are many smaller kingdoms, and one of Krishna's objective. Okay, so Krishna was a Mahapurusha. So according to Mahabharata, he was a Mahapurusha who came with a specific mission. So in that mission, say you want to reunite this, what you call this Bharat became a bigger Bharat. Okay, so that even Malaya, this Myanmar is all part of Bharat at the time. Okay, so you want to re-establish this Bharat. Okay, create a Mahabharat, and you want to, okay, how you want to re-establish Dharma. Okay, in every period, okay, I mean, throughout in our world, even in the past or present, the forces of evil and the forces of good will be there all the time. Okay, okay, that is the law of universe. You will never have all good, the good people, everyone. There's no such thing because there is a cycle in this universe. Okay, so even jivas, some of them are evolving. The one who's the junior jivas, they will be they will express a lot of crude what do you call crude vrittis, okay, like anger, jealousy, greed. So even the evolved ones will have that will be controlled. So here, if you see in the Battle of Kurukshetra, so you have Pandavas and you have Kauravas. The Kauravas represent human being with a lot of crude tendency, whereas the Pandavas represent human being with more subtle tendencies. Okay, those who are heading towards spiritual enlightenment. Okay, so the war is something which actually inevitable. It's something which is constantly happening, and during that time, Krishna took this conflict, okay, to enact okay, a historical event, okay, so that it will become what you call itihasa, okay. So the person who altered this later was Vyasa, okay, the sage Vyasa. So he used all these characters, and he gave us this itihasa, great itihasa in the form of Mahabharata. And through Mahabharata, you can study about all these Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Okay, so whether Mahabharata has to take, see, a lot of things is taking place in this world. So can you say this shouldn't happen, or that should happen? So the First World War, even during our time, okay, we already saw two world wars. Okay, these are events in the world which you can't stop. Okay, it's a natural event. Okay, so Lord Krishna himself, he played a specific role. Okay, so he has to show to the world that if someone follows the path of adharma, they will perish eventually, and if someone follows the path of dharma, they will be victorious. Okay, so it's up to you. I mean, you can do a critical analysis on Mahabharata. So you have to study the whole book, then you'll get an understanding. Okay, so we may give a very superficial remark, or Mahabharata shouldn't happen. Then so many things shouldn't happen in this world, and maybe some people may say that even this whole world is a mistake. if God created this world, why should He created this world in the first place? So we don't have answer for that. Okay, but what the answer that we can have is that there's a cycle in this life which is constant. Okay, and each cycle is it's a learning experience. Okay, the next question is by Sister Shamla. She said she's asking to elaborate about mental japa. Okay. So normally when we do japa, for example, I can use this mantra. Okay, the same example I use. So Om Namah Shivaya. So if you recite this mantra audibly, it is Vachanika japa. So you say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. It's loud. Okay. So this is the first step. Some people, they could only start with vocal japa. Okay. Then they'll go to the next level called upamshu. Upamshu means whisper. Means you still use your lips, but only you can hear. Then the third one is mental japa. So mental japa means you repeat the mantra in your mind. Okay. So to do this, you need to develop some concentration. That is point number one. Point number two is when you do this mental japa, you also bring the idea of the mantra, the bhavana. For example, when you in Namah Shivaya, that means I surrender to Shiva, who's the consciousness. Or you take another mantra, Om Namo Narayana. So Narayana means the shelter of the universe. It means I surrender to the shelter of the universe. So when you do this mental japa, so you will slowly develop the bhavana towards the Lord. So that is the purpose. So this is one process of japa, and this, when you do this, so this will fulfill the requirement of Ishvara Pranidhana. That means taking shelter, under Ishvara. That is the the purpose of mental japa. And according to Swami Sivananda Saraswati of Rishikesh, mental japa will slowly transform itself into japa sahita dhyan. That means it will progress to the state of meditation. It is done properly. The next question is, samskaras are due to the karma performed by us. Is there a way to cleanse our samskara by ourselves instead of coming to us under the law of karma? So this I already covered in the previous classes. That samskara means each time you perform action, there is a reaction. Okay, so you can't avoid the reaction, but you can perform. So first you need to be aware that you have samskaras. Okay, most people are not aware. When you come to understand about this, okay, samskaras are in the form of prarabdha. So prarabdha is samskara in motion. Okay, so you can't do much about this prarabdha. So but what you can do is you should plant a stronger samskara. This I mentioned last week. It means you get involved in sadhana. Okay, so through sadhana you will start to plant a stronger samskara in your mind, and this stronger samskara will make you grow. You will become stronger, and by gaining that strength, spiritual strength, you will be able to deal with the process of repeatal of your existing samskara. Okay, so if you don't have the strength, suppose you don't have the spiritual samskara, the process of expression of some painful samskara will break you. Okay, so the wise idea is to plant stronger samskara through sadhana. That's point number one, and get involved in karma yoga. Okay, so you get involved in karma yoga, dedicate the action to a guru. Okay, so that's why you see all these processes are interconnected. So you should have a powerful guru who protects you, and when a guru tells you to do something, okay, so he will actually allow your samskara to be expressed through that action. So I give an example. There was a great saint about 1,000 years ago in Tibet. His name was Milarepa. So Milarepa, in his early days, he did some mistake. Okay, he killed some people through black magic. Okay, then later he went to, he felt remorseful and he went to a teacher. The name of the guru is Marga. So Marga, so he said that I did a lot of bad things, so now I want to learn meditation and cleanse my karma. Okay. So physical karma, any negative karma, can only be cleansed through physical action. So either you have to be born, okay, a couple of times to cleanse it, okay. So or it has to be removed in, through intense karma yoga. So Marga will ask him to do something, but he will not tell him the reason. So first he asked him to build a brick house, okay, in a small hill. So 1,000 years ago, and so we don't have all these cranes and all that. And so you have to carry all the bricks, everything up to the hill. And he managed to build complete one brick house. And Marga will come there and inspect the house and say, I don't like this house. Break this and build it down there. And it sounds really ridiculous, but Marga has a purpose to do this. And Milarepa was actually surrendered himself completely. Even though it sounded ridiculous, he continued. So he went and started to build another house. So he kept building brick house, and each time Marga will say, break this house, build another one. I think he managed to do this 8 times, and until he lost hope and he lost his faith. And he said, maybe I'm so sinful that this Guru Marga don't want to initiate me into meditation. He's asking me to do this. And when he's about to commit suicide, Marga will come and stop him and hug him and said, if you manage to build one more time, you would have cleansed all your karmas, all your negative karma. So each time when he was building the brick house and getting injured and all that, he was actually expressing his negative karma through that action. Okay. So then Marga said, never mind, the remaining samskara you will burn through your meditation. Then only he initiated him to meditation. So powerful gurus can do this. So if a guru asks you to do certain missionary work, so you can actually cleanse some of your negative karma because you are not doing that action for yourself. Okay. This is the answer for this. So first plant a strong samskara through sadhana and also do karma yoga, intense karma yoga, not just doing once in a year, once in 2 years. No, intense. So do regularly. So like you can do certain things within your means. Feed the poor. Okay, feed the poor. Don't feed the rich. Feed the poor. Now in the time of MCO, you can do a lot of karma yoga, a lot of service to people. So this will help to cleanse your samskara. Will help the people, and also help you to unburden your negative samskara. Okay. Is there any other question?
Thank you very much, Brother Padma.
Oh, no. Okay, if there's no, Brother Velu, you have any question this week?
Well, I do, but
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the questions of others and the answers that you gave. So I was just, you can say that I was immersed in all that. So it was really good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry, towards the end, what happens to Milarepa?
Oh, Milarepa was enlightened. So I think he's one of the greatest Tibetan masters. So actually, I recommend you guys to read his biography. He's entitled Milarepa, the Great Tibetan Master. Great Tibetan Yogi. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a good read to spiritual aspire. Okay. All right. We don't have any more questions. 49 something. Even Shamala Devi, did I answer your question? Do you need further elaboration before I conclude?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was clear. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Have a nice day. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you.